What's going on, arcade nerds? So, in the comments of the last video I did, someone said, hey, you do know that that fiberglass resin doesn't really bond with ABS. And I thought to myself, I mean, hey, that's pretty damn solid. I think it's bonding pretty well. And so I looked it up on the internet, and he's right. This stuff doesn't really bond with ABS. And so, as a quick experiment, I dug into the top piece with a screwdriver, and this shit peeled up in one piece. So, I can't use fiberglass and that resin with ABS. So, on the bottom here, I've picked a little bit here and there. Look at it separating. You see it? So, I'm going to yank this all off. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to start over again. I want this to be strong. I want this to be nice. And without doing any research, I kind of just looked into, I figured, hey, resin and fiberglass is pretty strong. Let's go at it. And in the past, I've used fiberglass resin with iRobot control panels to repair them. And it worked great. But the difference is you're not really sitting on top of an iRobot control panel. I want this thing to be strong. And look, since we've talked, look what I've already done. So, I hate to say it, but I'm going to pull this all off. And I guess I'm going to start over. So since I was on the internet, I looked around, and people say the best way to fix ABS is with more ABS. So what I'm going to do is make what's called an ABS slurry. So I'm going to get this old pickle jar here, and I'm going to fill it with acetone, and I'm going to add a whole bunch of ABS into that jar until it becomes a glue slurry mush. And then I'm going to paint it on the back of this to thicken the ABS itself. And hopefully this isn't going to take forever. I don't know how long it's going to take to cure, but yeah, we're going to start over. I don't know. I guess it may have been fine, but it's something that's always going to haunt me that I didn't do that right. So, and hopefully I'll be able to work with this stuff and smooth it out and whatever. Now on the bottom, I resined in a piece of ABS right here, and I put some thick fiberglass resin and glass right here. Maybe I'll leave that alone. This is where it needs to be its strongest. So I guess I'll do that. We're going to start over and we'll see how this works. It may be a catastrophe. It might be a big nightmare. Hopefully it's not. We'll see how it works. coming. Not what I wanted to do. I wanted to get it. Didn't want to start over again, but hey, let's try to get this nice and strong. Hopefully. There it is. It looks like I have no further damage. It's just a matter of all the cleanup I'm going to have to do now. Okay, let me show you what I'm thinking about and where we're at. It's now a day later, or was it 2 days later? Since I started the video. Okay, so the plan is, I don't remember where I left off, so I'm just going to re-explain things if need be. So the plan is to make a slurry of ABS plastic and paint new plastic over top of the old plastic, and when this plastic dries or cures, it will actually become all one. And in between those layers, I have some fiberglass drywall tape I'm going to put across this, and I've made some slurry. Now, this is ABS 3D printing filament. I had some clear, I had some red, and had a little bit of black. So I put it inside this pickle jar, and now I have some slurry. So I could paint this on. I know it's red. Also today, I got some sheets of ABS, and I'm going to experiment with that. I was thinking about soaking this entire sheet of ABS in acetone to soften it, and then possibly wrap it around this bottom part to make it stick. I don't know, we'll see. It's kind of new territory for me. I haven't exactly done crazy body work. Anyways, one of those with ABS. So with one of those sheets, I cut it up into a bunch of little pieces, and I'm going to make a slurry. Of course, it takes like, I don't know, it took me like 24 hours to get the first stuff to melt. So the plan is, I have this goofy red slurry over there. I can put that in the bottom because no one's ever going to look at the bottom. But on the top, I'm hoping to not do any paint or body work. We'll see. And this black would go over black pretty nicely rather than some red crap. So that's the idea. So anyways, when I made the slurry over there, I used some acetone and I filled it up, and I put a little bit of this all-purpose cement. It's for ABS. It softens ABS. Now this is way stronger than acetone. I think it was. It's not methyl ethyl ketone. It's what else? What's the active ingredient? I forget also. So anyways, this eats faster than standard acetone. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this in here. Got like solids in it too. Anyway, so that's some of that's in there. And put the lid on. Now I'm going to open up this acetone. Okay, now let's hope. Let's hope that mixes up. Maybe I could go for a little more. You can always add more later. So this is really, this jar is probably not going to dissolve until tomorrow. Somewhere I had a screwdriver around here. Okay, there's a giant one, it'll work. So I'm going to try to mix it up. Oh, jeez. I don't know, we'll see how this goes. I think maybe I need more acetone in there. And maybe this is all about it. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Let's get a little more acetone in there. Then I'll close the jar. And I believe there is no actual reaction that expands this in any way. In other words, you could seal it. Oh, look at that, it's starting to get a black tint to it. So you could put the lid on this and seal it, but I don't trust that. So I'm going to let it sit. Yeah, it's starting to dissolve the acetone, ABS. Yep, turning into black mush. We'll see how that goes. But for now, I already have some red slurry. Let's put on the bottom. So I guess that's what I'll do now. By the way, thinking maybe I will make this sticky by putting a little acetone on it. Okay, so just a little acetone. And let's get this sticky. Okay, so that is definitely sticky now. It ate some of the plastic off. Okay. I believe that's good enough for our coat of slurry. We will see. I think I'm just gonna pour it out a little bit. Yeah, there's some random stuff in there that didn't dissolve, and the reason why is because I thought it was ABS and it wasn't. So it's kind of like a fiberglass resin epoxy deal, just like before, but instead we're using actual plastic. And this will, you know, become more plastic, fiberglass impregnated plastic when we're done. And this stuff dries pretty quick. Well, I haven't tried it in a large scale like this, but if you put some on your finger, in a matter of a minute, it'll be dry. We get over on this side. You know, maybe this is enough on the bottom. Okay, I don't want to go too heavy because I worry that it'll like eat the whole damn base out or something like that. That would just be absolutely horrible. Yeah, it's already starting to form a film. Yep, let's let this whole coat dry. Well, it's been almost a day now, and it's solid. Right here is a little soft, and there's little bubbles that popped up when it was outgassing. And I pushed them back down a little bit, you know. Hopefully this will be stronger than the original, I don't know. So, I have some thoughts. I have some sheets of ABS here that I got from Amazon, and I think I want to try getting this soft in some acetone and wrap it around the bottom here to increase the thickness a little bit. I don't know if that's going to help or not, but I have another experiment. I have more of these sheets than I actually need, so I'm going to do another experiment. Here I have that slurry. It is now molten or solvent, you know. So I was thinking on the top part that maybe I could Bondo in some of those cracks and whatever, but I'm not even sure how this is going to react. So I'm gonna just do a little experiment here and just see how it reacts with the on some ABS with a Bondo knife, and just to see if I can smooth it out. It looks like that is smoothing out nice, just like Bondo. Okay, so I think while I'm waiting, I'm going to give this, let's say, another full day to cure, just so I don't have any trapped solvent in it. And I guess while I'm waiting, I'm going to do the top part of the seat, and we'll see how that works. Okay, so the main piece in the center kind of just peeled away, but the resin that I put on the side, on the very side where it was very thin, it just would not come off. So I hated to do it, but I did. I got a wire brush, and it was the only way I can get that off. So now I have a pretty rough looking seat here, but you know, it's all an experiment. Hopefully everything goes well when we're done. So I got some paper towels, and I'm going to get a little bit of acetone on the paper towel. I'm going to try to soften up this acetone, or soften up this ABS, I should say. Try to eat into that top layer. Also, and that's working, man. Okay, so also right here, there were some cigarette burns. So I actually sanded those down to try to get them level, and seemed to work pretty well. I'm actually surprised I didn't cause any more damage. But yeah, so that acetone seems to work pretty well, eating a top layer off this. And it dries like immediately. That's dry. It's already dry. How cool. So we still have these cracks here. And I'm going to try to do this and try not to screw things up too much. Let's see, should I just dump it right on there? I guess I'm just going to dump it right on there. We'll try to work that in. There's some sanding marks. I'm filling in those sanding marks. That's nice. And this stuff gets a skim coat real fast. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, because there's one lesson I learned on the bottom is if you let it go too thick, it'll take a day to dry. But if I just go a little bit right here, then it will, thin coats will dry sooner. So actually, that's not looking bad, is it? Let's see if I can get this goop off my finger. See if I disconnect this from the... So you can see the terrible gouges I put in, and you can see a whole layer I just put on top, filling this in with ABS. Now, hopefully, since ABS sands pretty well, the final coat, I'll have to sand it, and hopefully some acetone and a rag will smooth it back out like I just did a little bit ago. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Oh, I should maybe put some here. Actually, this is not so bad. Hell, just that acetone wipe down after the sanding got a lot of these out. These were divots. I don't know. Hopefully we can get this right. I'd like to get this done. I don't know. I'm not experienced when it comes to ABS body work, but I'd like to get this done without painting. But if need be, I will paint it to make it look perfect. But not bad so far. Not bad. Look at this. This is already dry. That's dry already. I'm gonna let that dry real good. I'll get a fan on it, and I'll come back every every half an hour, and I'll put another coat on until we build up a couple millimeters of ABS. See how that goes. I'll tell you what, the ABS slurry stuff seems to be working well. Okay, so it's about a half hour later. I came back and I just now put another coat on this. And I went thick. When I say thick, I mean thick. I feel more confident that I can sand this down because it seems pretty easy to sand once it's dry. But it's about a 1/4 inch thick in the center, and it edges out to about an 1/8 inch thick around the edges to almost nothing. But as you can see, it's very gloopy and whatever, and that's you only have about 20 seconds of working time. And if you try to play with it after that 20 seconds or so, the skin that formed on top will peel off as you're playing with it. So anyways, I'm okay with doing some sanding now, especially that I know it can be sanded well. So long story short, yes, I know it looks bad, but I think it's going to look great when I'm done. So I put this on extra thick. I got excited. I have a fan on it. I may have to wait till tomorrow to we'll see. I don't know. I mean, there's literally already a skin. I just turned the camera on immediately after. I'm touching this. I'm touching it. It's dry. Good God. This stuff is amazing. Okay, so I hit it with some 120 grit. And I did a little bit of 320 grit. And I'm just gonna leave it this way. And we'll see. My plan right now is to hopefully put back some sort of textured finish. And it's just an experiment. If it doesn't work, I can always sand it back off or whatever. But I got some more of this slurry, and I added some acetone to make it real thin. So real thin. And so I'm hoping to get a sponge and dab it and try to get some of that finish back. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how it's going to work or not. Oh, it's looking like a wrinkled finish. We'll see, we'll see. Happy little trees. There's a spot that some crap in there. No. Yeah, it's getting a little bit of a wrinkle finish back in there. We'll see. I am still sick. I've had me and my wife had a flu, and it's been 2 weeks. The flu's over, but now it's still a throat thing and chest congestion. I'm actually running out of my goop already. Looks like I'm gonna have to come back and make more goop. So I'm already out. Hold on a minute. Okay, this is another experiment. We'll see how it works. By the way, I didn't show on camera, but that sponge idea was great, but it left some pieces of the sponge on there. So I ended up sanding it all back off again, and I used a rag and dabbed it. And the rag ended up actually putting a better texture on there. So, and then I did a light sanding to remove some of the high spots. So that's why it doesn't look so good right now. And here's my experiment. I got some acetone, and I put a little bit of slurry in there. And so I'm going to spray this entire thing, and we'll see if I can get it uniform. And maybe this itself will even spray a little bit of texture on there. We'll see. But it's so thin, it's probably just going to dry and not add any texture at all. That's the cool thing about this. Stuff dries so quick. I can't believe I'm spraying on a finish with a spray deal here. Let me get on this side, get a little bit of that. Tell you what, guys. It's looking good, huh? I'm running out of stuff. Okay. We'll see how that dries, and if I need to mix up more slurry acetone mix, then that's what I'll do. Of course, this needs to dry, and I suspect like these heavy spots, that's gonna dry and shrink down. Not looking bad. All right, let me let this dry, and we'll see how the finish looks then. I think the texture was reproduced pretty decently. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but I mean, hey, there was a giant crack here. So, I don't know. Looking good so far. So I did a couple applications of the ABS mixed with acetone and sprayed it. And every time I did it, it just kept looking better and better. I'd say we're done. I think it came out okay. Sure, it's not perfect. I mean, there's some spots around here where it's not smooth, like right there. And that's just because of my own laziness of not wanting to sand it out. But overall, it's going to be in a dark arcade. It's going to look beautiful. No one's ever going to know. There's already some minor imperfections on this thing normally, so it kind of blends in. That's just the way it is. Looks great. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Have a good one.